Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
I'd sell my soul for a double cheeseburger.
That's it? That's all it would take?
Yeah, it's
what's on it? Is it just anything on it?
Onions and pickles. Basically, I'm really craving a McDonald's cheeseburger right now.
It is a good cheeseburger.
It's easily attainable, therefore no need to sell your soul for it.
Oh, whoops. Done fucked up now. We're doing deals with the devil.
Yep.
And we've done a movie with James Coco called Hunk. We did Crossroads, that's right.
Oh yeah.
We should say we got a little corrected. Thanks. It was Connor, right, Andy? He was like, you guys have covered...
Oh, yeah, we already did it apparently on the show.
But
yeah.
Amy and I were not on that show.
We were not on that show.
And I'm not sure about Andy.
Yeah, I think it was the obscure 80s guys.
For sure,
yeah,
it was the obscure
I think that
guys.
Shizak and Freddie guested on their show or something.
Yeah, it was probably like a cross.
Vice versa. And because I literally do not remember seeing this movie until like a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I'm curious what I said about it back then.
You'll have to go back and listen.
I might have to dig it out.
Yeah, what Connor said, you guys were nicer to the movie this time around. So
you guys are probably just being boys.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure, man.
Edgelord and Crossroads starring Ralph Macchio.
Like Kelley just talked about Origins, where apparently there was more of that kind of behavior.
Being meanies.
I can just imagine the voices you guys made back then.
Who knows? You mean like Ralph Macchio impersonations?
Yes, exactly.
The unmistakable sound of Ralph Macchio speaking.
Yeah, see, it's making fun of Ralph Macchio's voice as opposed to the old black man's.
Oh, I'm with you now. Now I see the problem.
We were problematic back then. And kind of still now, but not as bad.
Kelley, do you have a ghost?
Well, either Alise is home, I have a ghost, or
the ghost is home.
Or there's something. So there's some dogs
barking.
Disturbance.
Okay. It was
the ghost came home and threw its sheet on the hook and said, "I'm home."
You know, it made me think about like that new subgenre of horror where it's a Zoom meeting, basically. You know what I mean? Like Host was really good. But whenever I see someone on the call have to look behind themselves, it's like fucking blood in the water to me.
Yeah.
I'm immediately in spooky mode now.
Well, I do it a lot, and it's not on purpose. I'm not trying to put your balls in a chili vice. Hold on a second.
You go right ahead. So, Freddie, you were saying we've watched Hunk, Crossroads, and now
we're watching Listener Selected. Who was it? Who picked it?
Dave Siebert.
Oh, it was Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, Dave. Cool.
Yeah. He picked Needful Things.
Needful Things. Yeah. This is a good pick. This movie.
I thought I had seen it. I'm pretty sure I'd never seen it.
And you'd read the book, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I'm pretty sure I have.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sure. Book is so good. I'll be right back.
Okay.
This is spooking me out, man.
Yeah. Kelley, bring your phone with you. You can't hear us anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
If he throws like a dummy of himself through the frame.
If he doesn't come back, I live like 2 minutes away, listener. We'll just bring the computer with us and we'll record the whole way over. Okay? So anyway.
Then we can market it as a ghost story.
Yeah, except everything would
Kelley
be fine in the
getting
end.
out of his workspace looks like somebody in one of those like bellies of a B-52 bomber or something where they have to climb up and out of it and everything.
He has a cockpit.
It's like his cockpit that he's in for the show and where he works on music. Cox.
And then Kelley is going to review Watcher if he's not being murdered.
Knock on wood.
Okay, everybody just knock on Andy.
Or
knock.
a ghost could
Thank you.
possess him, and he can give a very unusual review of it.
Extremely unusual.
What if when the frame fills up again, it's just Clint Howard and he's like acting like he's Kelley the whole time?
Then I don't know. I've had a stroke.
That'd be weird as
You've
hell,
had a stroke?
right?
That'd be
the
kind of
weirdest
cool,
possible
though.
thing that could happen.
Like, what do we do? Do we just pretend that it's Kelley still, or do we acknowledge that it's Clint Howard?
It depends on if you want to be polite or not.
What would the listeners want? For us to keep up the ruse that it's
Yeah.
Kelley, or to start interviewing Clint Howard? And who cares what happened to Kelley?
We almost had Clint Howard in this room until Amy panicked and was like,
No, that's not true.
I can't have Clint Howard in my
Years
home.
ago, Clint Howard was coming to a Horror Hound. The guys at Horror Hound were like, "Hey, maybe before the show starts,
Can you take care of Clint Howard?
Clint Howard could
You're
bring
going to
him
house
over."
Clint Howard?
No.
That they wanted us to do an interview for Horror Hound.
And they
So-
talked
What
about
kind of
doing it
what
in
kind of
advance.
low rent convention puts the celebrities in people's houses?
No, he was just going to come over here. But here's
Yeah.
the thing: I don't want Hollywood in my house.
Hollywood.
This is not a nice house.
It's a fine house.
But
It's a crime. It's
fine.
Our
It's a
home.
house.
It's our goddamn home.
yeah. Okay. It's so cozy, Amy. I think Clint
take
Howard
some
would have
drink.
felt right at home.
Yeah.
Take some pride in it.
I do
Clint
have a lot of
Howard would be like, "You have a lovely home."
He would, wouldn't he?
He would, and we'd probably could have got a picture of him with that suction cup dildo on his head from that Silent Night, Deadly Night movie,
Yep.
and that would have been a keepsake.
You could have served him ice cream.
Could have served him. Yeah, that'd been fun.
Oh Lord. Anyway, so Freddie mentioned Origins earlier. Patreon.com/NOTLP, where we do our bonus stuff, including Origins, where we record little intros to our old episodes. We just put those up, and you can dig around and find that Crossroads episode, which is funny because I'm pretty sure somebody's already covered that for Origins. We would have heard Crossroads, talked about it, moved on.
We lead active lives.
I swear,
A lot happens,
there's a lot of weed.
And we're also old and forgetful, Amy.
and we're old.
Kelly,
Kelley, is that you, or is that a somebody in Kelley's body?
Thank God it's not Clint Howard.
It's possessed Kelley, but I don't know. The dog. I think he was just chasing the cat.
Okay, it's so scary.
that's we're terrified now.
But
everything's
You
fine.
kind of have like your house gives me Black Christmas vibes a little bit. Anyway,
It's the
Is it
attic.
because of the attic?
Yeah.
He's in the attic, and
You
he's gonna
should-
be wrapped in Christmas lights.
oh, you should do that for Christmas. Kelly sit in a rocking chair with a plastic bag over your head.
Yeah.
Kids will love that shit.
Put a hole through it at least, though.
Well, yeah, don't kill yourself.
Don't really
Well,
suffocate yourself.
I'm trying. I want to be authentic.
Yeah.
And you need those fat Christmas bowls, not those little ones. The
Yeah,
fat
Kev.
ones.
Fat balls.
Oh yeah.
Fat Christmas. It's not using balls. Christmas balls. Christmas balls. Christmas balls.
So anyway,
Yeah.
what's going on, everybody? What do we got for the top of the show? Anybody coming in hot like they do on Sunny podcast?
Coming in hot.
Nah. I'm coming in hot on. It was a good episode today. Did you listen today?
Not yet.
I watched.
I'm a creep as well.
Oh,
I got
I know
Freddie
you
in on
used
it.
to listen.
Yes. If nobody knows what we're talking about, it's the Always Sunny podcast, and I'm obsessed. And now
It's good. I watched
and
it.
Kelly's
later.
obsessed. Hey, are you going to buy tickets to the show?
I'm planning to.
Oh, they're doing a live show?
Yeah.
like a live stream kind of
Stream.
event.
Oh, not like a stage thing.
Well, they
like that.
did that, but it didn't come anywhere near here.
Oh, okay.
But Louisville,
Louisville, yeah.
Did they go to
Um,
Philadelphia at least?
they did.
Won't be funny if it didn't.
Is it like when a listener is listening to our show and we talk about
Other shows? that
another
we listen to?
podcast? Is that like when you're watching a TV show and they mention a movie or something and you're like, they're not a shared universe, see? See, like,
Did you think we were?
are
What were you
we a
gonna say,
shared
Kelly? Are
universe?
you gonna buy a ticket? I was thinking about it.
I'm planning, and I'm gonna see how we feel on the night.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't feel like doing shit like that.
Yeah.
But So it's it's not that much more
It's a
on the
thing.
night. So we're planning on it, but we'll see.
Anybody
it's
else
a hard
listening to fun
maybe.
podcasts that you want to talk about?
Podcasts?
I was just joking.
I watched an episode of Lore last night to go to sleep.
Whee!
It was the one about the Hankton Flickers.
Oh, the Hinterflack.
Hinterflock
That
murders.
shit's so fucking creepy.
If you don't know what that is, Google it. If you
Was
can.
that the farm one or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I know
Footprints in the
something.
snow.
Yeah, I know a little bit of true crime, and I'm not totally ghoul free.
Have you guys watched Lore? the Amazon. It's Aaron Mankey's show, but they did a live action show. It's just reenactments, but there's no narration.
We did not watch it because we listened to the show, and we thought about it, and then it didn't seem super well received, and we listened to it to kind of go to sleep.
Yeah.
So,
I miss the narration. Like shows like that for me, you have to have the two.
you got to
key
have
components.
Aaron Mankey.
You got to have your narrator, and you also need talking heads, like experts or like
You at least gotta have Aaron
survivors or whatever.
Some David Burns, some Tina Weymouth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But what were you going to say?
Who?
You.
Oh, me? No, I said what I was going to say.
Oh,
That's all I have to say about
I said
that.
what I said.
check out
I said what I said.
episode. Like, there's a in the new season of Unsolved Mysteries. I think it's the 5th episode. It's the Navajo Paranormal Police investigators, and it's a whole episode.
That's a good
of
one.
them.
Our buddy Caitlin Cutt's a story producer on the new Unsolved Mysteries.
So good.
Yeah, it's a good
So
season.
good.
Yeah.
We've been watching a lot of them. The
Who has-
UFOs one was crazy good.
Who is the new Robert Stack?
The UFOs.
They
There
don't have
is
one.
There's none.
There's no Robert Stack.
It's way better than the original. It's like
Is there a
million
host at
times.
least?
No, there's no host. I do kind of
No.
miss having a host, but at the same time,
Oh, not
like
me, baby.
I need
know,
a trench coat and fog. I'm sorry.
You could just get McGruff to do it. He's still
They still
alive.
have the theme song,
They
so
still
you
have
got
the theme
that.
song?
They jazzed it up a little, but it's still good.
It's just one mystery-ish, except for the paranormal covered a lot of different things, but it was one set of stories, and then it's one thing, and it's so good. They have swearing. I love it.
They just put it in there. Could you imagine Robert Stack doing that shit? In that dignified baritone, just dropping in a random F-bomb.
Could you?
I don't know. I'm not
Fuck
gonna...
your mother
There you
is
go.
what he was reputed to have said.
Did he ever date Rosen Island? It feels like he had to have.
No, he
As
was
a
never
he,
on.
he never played Guy on Gold.
You mean the character Rose Island?
I mean, did Robert
To the real
Stack?
person.
Did he ever appear on Golden Girls,
I don't
or am
think
I just
so.
thinking that because I watch them back to back so often?
That's probably it.
I would go right out of Golden Girls, me and Mom, right into Unsolved Mysteries.
That's a quality night of television.
This is the best fucking hour or whatever it was.
Sunday nights.
I don't know. I think it was when they were on Lifetime, when they were in syndication.
Sure, yeah.
But I associate those two very tightly together in a very strange way.
How tight?
So tight that sometimes I have dreams where B. Arthur is the Jeeper Creeper. She's just chucking bodies down a tube.
She's got that top. She's got that hat and the trench coat on.
She got a whole thing on.
She flies through the air.
I could see that actually, like B. Arthur in that get up. That'd be cool as shit.
Well, on that note,
Yeah, yeah.
So what else?
else is going
Gallagher
on?
died.
Gallagher died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He did.
He was kind of a turd. Not to speak ill of the dead, but he really made a point of being a real shithead near the end of his life.
Well, yeah, that's definitely complicated. Not necessarily a very nice person. So
Well, now tell me
that
this.
is Alise, by the
I
way.
never
Oh, good.
watched his comedy specials. Was he a good comic?
For the time,
Well,
yeah.
for the time, yeah.
When
I went back. Oh, sorry. Go
so-
ahead.
I mean, all I did. What was the build up to the fruit smashing? What
That
kind
was
of
the
meeting
end
was
of
it?
it. That was a prop comic. thing, but he always did that at the end. That
Yeah,
was
I always knew
the
that.
closer.
Because I always watched him on Comedy Central because he was constantly on Comedy Central.
Constant.
And I only caught the smashing fruit parts. Did he ever smash pumpkins?
I don't know.
Probably.
He smashed a lot of shit. Absolutely, I'm sure he did.
He liked to make a mess.
I watched him so much on Comedy Central, and I would just sit and laugh at like political humor that I knew nothing about.
It was more about the way he would cock his hips, and he'd be like,
Yeah.
Democrats! And you're like, the funny man looks like Purple Pine Man.
It's like I said, and I think I said it on the show not that long ago, but I will say, I think of him saying, oh, she's wearing her Brooke Shields.
Oh, yeah.
I think of that joke at least once a week.
Dude, I just watched that special again because I was like,
So he
I
put
was
that
feeling
on.
nostalgic.
Woof.
It's terrible.
Not good anymore.
Doesn't hold up, man.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
with
what
everything
is-
I know about him now. I
like-
can't.
What is he kind of like a Seinfeld type comic where he just talks about everyday things or
Yeah, he's like a
bigger topics?
he's
More whimsical.
Yeah.
If you took George Carlin and Carrot Top and dumbed down both of their acts,
dumping down Carrot Top? What?
Yes.
Hold the phone.
I know.
Well, I think Gallagher is arguably funnier than Carrot Top.
I think you need to revisit both. Get back to me because it turns out Carrot Top is way funnier than I remembered, and
Is
Gallagher is way less funny than I
Is
remember.
Carrot Top ahead of his time?
He was
He's
a
not
little
going to be
ahead of his
appreciated.
time. Yeah.
All right, I'm not saying you're wrong. That's fair. Fair enough. I might have to.
Yeah.
I think, despite his turdness and his act being not that great, he made my 11-year-old ass laugh.
I was wondering where you were
I
going
am
with
grateful.
that. You're like
It
those
was,
tight
uh,
slacks.
He's like my gateway into stand-up comedy, really.
Yeah, I would watch Comedy
Yeah.
Central. It was him and Rita Rudner and Elaine Boozler, and I would just absorb all of that very adult focused comedy and not really understand any of it, but think it's funny as shit.
I remember we would tape them off at shit. Like they would show them on Channel 9. They would sort of edit out the swear words, but they would play them on Channel 19 sometimes, on their for their Saturday night big get, and then we would tape them, and then I would just watch them over and over again. I mean, that was in the 80s.
You ever notice how his eyes would scan the crowd whenever he landed a joke, and he'd be like,
yeah,
and he'd just look, and it was like he was scoping out
he would. I know
Was
exactly.
he just looking for validation?
I don't know what
I
he was
know
looking for.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But he would always do this thing. He was like a guy who just like a toddler that was real proud of something they did. He'd tell the joke and then he would stand there.
Oh, so he's like,
and he would
And
just
like,
wait
look
for
at me,
the
look at-
reaction.
he's a
Yeah.
look at me.
Yeah, he'd put that little hat on and he'd look up into the balcony seats and he'd be like,
Oh, that's-
Yeah, his eyes would go off into the
me.
distance. I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. Gallagher.
Oh, Gallagher.
Although,
He was-
he
was
was
he
he's an
for-
icon. There's no
Yeah.
argument.
He was Rainbow Suspender Man, right?
Well, here's the trick here.
Well, that was also
Robin
Nanu Nanu.
Williams, yeah.
Robin Williams.
See, that's the thing about Gallagher. I think he assembled his act from other people's acts. if
Well,
I'm being
Robin
honest.
Williams
Well,
was also
sure.
kind of notorious for that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I should say Gallagher.
Not to speak ill of the
Loose-
dead, we said.
Doesn't he
and
feel like he
then-
loosely cobbled together, though? I mean, very loosely.
I don't think about him that deeply.
He's like, I want props. I want to be political. And I want to absorb the energy of the balcony. And I want watermelons.
I don't know if that's an accurate Gallagher impression or not because I have no idea what he sounds like. But
That's what he sounds like.
I wouldn't
Okay.
say it's inaccurate.
It's pretty close.
Kind of shouty.
Like he's screaming, get rid of taxes, and the whole crowd's like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's get rid of taxes. And I'm sitting
Why
there
do
like a dummy, like, how's that gonna work?
What about our roads, Gallagher?
Like, this is stupid.
was that the punchline? Get rid of taxes.
Yes, basically.
And then people would just
And then-
cheer.
Why do we park on
I don't want to pay taxes either, Gallagher.
Why do we park on a driveway and we drive on a parkway?
This is it.
You guys ever think about
Oh, we're terrible. He
getting
just died.
taxed on your farts by the U.S. government?
Well, I mean,
He was
are
very
we terrible.
homophobic and-
I remember
yeah.
this From childhood. That's how many times I watched it. So he should feel good.
Did he make gay jokes back then? I mean,
yeah, he also got really belligerently homophobic since like the last 20 years or so.
Oh, is that why he smashed fruits? Because he was homophobic?
Oh, it could be.
Oh shit.
His episode
so it was like a hate crime, smashing those fruits.
His episode of WTF is an early one, and it is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't like Mark Maron confronting him about those very things, and he stormed out because he didn't want to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But rest in peace, I guess.
Rest in peace.
I don't know.
Complicated man. Hey, you know what? Aaron Carter is more deserving of our
also
energy.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
That was just fucking
That's
tragic
just
all
goddamn
around.
awful.
That's sad. That's the second time that's happened in that family. Like that immediate family.
Also Kevin Conroy.
And
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy.
Batman, the voice of what? Batman, what is it? The animated series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't I split that out?
All of the DC universe stuff.
Yeah. Him and Mark Hamill as the
animated.
Joker. Good combo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even like a huge Batman fan, but I love those two.
So that's our in memoriam section.
Yeah, we just had an impromptu in memoriam.
Death is lurking.
It's always around the corner. Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Before it gets us?
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
Și tu? You don't speak Romanian.
You don't like?
No, it's lovely. There's this guy that lives across the street, and he's always looking over here.
Looking over here how?
Every time I look over there, he's just staring right at me.
Hello, darling. Any reason in particular you're standing in the dark?
Do you feel like coming in for a drink? Yeah. Have you noticed anyone watching you in your apartment?
No.
This guy has been watching us since we moved in.
Maybe he's staring at the woman who's staring at him.
They found a woman murdered in her apartment.
They're saying the woman had her head cut off.
A man at the movie theater followed me into the supermarket.
Followed you?
That's him. I need to know for myself that he's been following me.
Sometimes I just look at people.
Just tell me what you want me to do.
I want you to believe me!
I'm sure that you'd see me.
I heard screaming from in here, okay?
Just open the door, please!
Dreaming of an old pretty girl looking back at me. But no one has really noticed before.
From Spookerton Studios.
What a long trailer.
That was kind of a long trailer.
Oh God, it felt like a long movie too, boy.
Is this Watcher or The Watcher?
It's one of those.
Sure.
And so I feel like this is going to be another one where some people are going to like this.
I think that's everyone, Kelley.
I think some of our listeners will like it. I did not like it.
Yeah.
Alise, I'm not speaking for her either. I'm not going to speak for her because she's not on the mic, but she also did not like it.
Okay. So you
And
are gonna.
we shared many of them. I am going to speak to her but it's what she would say.
I'll text her real quick to confirm.
She's here.
I'm kidding.
She's moving about downstairs. And it fails at being what it wants to be, which isn't even that great of a thing to begin with, which is like it's really a glorified one of these like thrillers. It's like a pot boiler thriller.
So what does it want to be?
It's like a glorified Lifetime kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But I think it wants to be like a Sisters, or like one of those like a Giallo, one of those Giallo inspired movies. It's not really that, but you can tell that the people who made
store brand Giallo.
Yeah, and I don't really have a lot of good things to say about this movie, unfortunately. What I will say that is good about it, I'll give it you got to start with a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
And compliment is that there were some very cool shots and locations. Like there were some very spooky hallway shots. And
was this like a high-rise apartment? It looked like kind of like almost like a Polanski vibe kind of the building.
Yeah. Yes. Everything you said.
Can you read that back, stenographer, please? You asked, is it like a Polanski inspired kind of apartment building? Mr. Kombrinck replied, yes. 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 Yes.
I can't wait to see the courtroom sketches too.
This is gonna be great.
But the setup is it's all right. It's this young couple who are in
favorite
Romania.
kind. Yum 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 yum.
They are a United States of America couple.
I'm picturing this Bush Jr. and his wife Laura.
They're a young married couple, and they are from the States. And the man
and they just moved to the States from the States.
I don't know what you're doing right now.
This couple is so young. They had just moved into the States.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
why do you keep saying that they're from the United States?
Because that's where they're from.
Is the movie take place overseas? Oh, they're in Romania.
They're in Romania.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Now I get it.
And the guy his mother is from Romania, and he was raised in the States. That's the only thing. That's really the only backstory you really get on anyone, and it's on him. This movie, I don't mean this to be insulting, so I'm very sorry. It feels like it was made by someone who, like, they see the thing they like, and they're like, I'm going to recreate that. But they don't understand like the connective tissue
So it's
for
derivative.
why things happen. It's not just derivative, but like it isn't even the derivative to there's not a depth to where it even has the stuff that makes sense in a derivative one of these. Like there's you're even if you're just looking for sort of a cheap version of this, usually there are certain things that make sense and there's twists and turns. This just is a very straight line kind of thing, not to spoil it, but
I mean,
the character, I think that no. Oh yeah. Yes, it is all right. It's absolutely all right. It's all right.
I mean, it's all right that you say that. I don't feel like it's a big spoiler.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's not all right if that's not what you want.
Is it a slow burn type movie?
Well, yes, but it turns out it's a no burn movie. Also,
A no burn.
No, it never caught on fire.
Was there even smoke?
They
got a fog machine up in that bitch.
Was it just hey? There's Alise. Hello. They're just rubbing sticks together, right? And they're like,
yeah.
We're gonna get somewhere with this. We promise. Maika Monroe's head's gonna come off, or she's gonna fall down some stairs, and she's gonna have to get revenge on the landlord or something. But then nothing develops out of it. Does this all sound right?
Yeah, there's all kinds. Yes, and nothing develops out of anything. And also, the characters are so unlikable. They don't like. There's the things that happen are just too. They just don't make sense. The actions that the young woman who is our main character, our POV person, who you're supposed to sympathize with, and I think they thought that just by putting a young American woman in a country where no one speaks the language, a lot of the stuff they rely on is like her feeling alienated by people not speaking English around her. Yeah, but it kind of ends up making her look like an asshole a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she's expecting she's
not trying.
Well, it's not that she's not trying. She is trying. She tries to learn the language, but she's miserable there. And it's just not, there's no, you expect every single thing that comes, but then again, you're like, it can't be this because this hasn't happened, or she doesn't have any reason for this, but then it happens anyway. Like things are just forced into place.
Shit. I hate that.
And everyone just really acts weird. Like everything is so off-putting. And I think it was just like, they thought that's just how you make one of these, like the tone, everything is just sort of like off kilter. And, the serial killer subplot, like is barely part of it. Like, I mean, ultimately it's a huge part of it, but like, they make it seem like it's going to be a thing that everybody in the city's talking about. They're all just kind of joking about it. This movie did not work for me. It felt really, really long. And I didn't feel like it had any kind of connective tissue to the narrative. It was just a bunch of stuff that happens that ends up leading up to this thing that happens.
So if any of that sounds like something you're into.
And some people might say, "Oh, I have nothing to do for an hour and a half, and I must fill this time with something, and I can't just be alone with my thoughts or read a poetry book or enjoy a bird." Don't
even have time to enjoy a bird.
If you need to fill this time in a way that isn't one of those, you could probably find some enjoyment in this if that's just
enjoy a bird
all you're looking for.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to put things. Like enjoy a bird as in looking at it or eating it, or just enjoying a bird.
Any of the above.
Yeah,
listening to a bird. I like to listen to birds.
Freddie was doing some call and
sometimes look at them.
With a bird today.
I was talking to the birds this morning.
This
I
one
love
bird
doing
we
that.
have. Yeah. Does anybody know the bird that makes this noise?
Yeah, it's the one that goes.
Sounds like what a whiny little bird.
It is. But it was talking to me. Like I started making the sound.
It's the bratty finch.
Yeah, the bratty finch. A snot-nosed weasel.
Well, so you know what it looks like? Does it look like Droopy Dog with a?
It's called a tit drip.
Drippy tit.
Drippy tit.
But Freddie was like going, wah, and then the bird would go, wah.
Yeah, it sounded like a gangster. Like, you killed my brother, James Cagney.
I love to talk to the birds. It's so fun when they whistle.
Oh, you got to say what the movie is first, Amy. And sorry, Amy almost touched the wheel prematurely. I was just showing it to her.
Oh, no.
Amy, get your fingers away from that wheel until you're told.
I love watching birds, though. I'm getting so fucking old, man.
We have a bird feeder. Mm-hmm. But I guess the squirrel keeps getting into it like multiple times a day. I've got to go fix it, put the roof back on.
Yeah, because the squirrels pull the roof off.
Well, a squirrel is like the King Kong of a bird feeder.
Yeah.
Or the birds with the little airplanes flying around.
Yeah, and the whole time Black Eyed Peas is playing for some reason. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
So, thank you, Kelley.
Yeah, thank you.
It's very eloquent. I just got a news alert that tomorrow the world's 8 billionth person will be born.
Is it Nick Cannon's child? And only half of those are Nick Cannon's children.
It's baby Cannon.
Nick Cannon, stop having babies for the love of God.
For the love of Jesus.
You can't.
Okay, movie is Incantation. It is on Netflix. 6 years ago, Lee Ronan was cursed after breaking a religious taboo. Now she must protect her daughter from the consequences of her actions. This is a Taiwanese movie. And I said it, China.
Not the consequences of my actions.
You heard me, China. It's a movie from Taiwan.
China.
Oh,
anyway,
Amy.
I'm going to have to release
all
one
that
of those.
political power you have, Amy.
I'm gonna have to
We're gonna be shut down by TikTok.
I'm going to have to
Amy took on the CCP.
learn Chinese from the same person that John Cena did to do a halting apology video.
Oh, yeah. That felt like
you guys are going to help me with that?
Awkward as shit. Do you
Andy, how do you say I'm sorry in Chinese?
No, I don't want to say. I don't know, actually.
He's never had to apologize because he's loved.
I don't apologize. I don't make mistakes.
Love me.
Yeah, I'm
never
a
having
bitch.
to say.
All right, let's see. Who this gonna be? Incantation will be watched by Freddy.
Oh.
Thank you for that. Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, we have a show to do. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, boy.
I can tell.
Get excited.
Mm-hmm.
Be excited.
Castle Rock Entertainment and Stephen King invite you to visit Castle Rock, Maine, a quiet little town whose population has just increased by 1.
Do you believe in the devil, Father? I guess I have to. You can't have one without the other. What does he look like? What the hell does he look like?
May I take this opportunity to welcome you to Castle Rock on the good Lord's behalf?
Why not?
So where are you from?
Ohio. I've been in this business a long time, and I've learned the pleasure of offering my customers what they really need.
He came here to destroy us. Oh, you wussy.
There have been 2 murders and an attempted suicide in this quiet little town, and Mr. Leland Garner's at the bottom of it.
You are disgusting. I like that in a person.
Everybody that's got it coming is gonna get it now.
The young carpenter from Nazareth. I knew him well. Promising young man. But he died badly.
A famine here, a flood there, a little bloodlust, a broken heart. You can't win. I've got God on my side.
Fun now. How is it going? I killed my wife. Is that wrong? Hey, these things happen.
Yeah, boy. Oh, right.
I
Kelley?
can't ever get enough Hollow Mountain King.
Me either. I love that. That's a. Is that Wagner?
That is Edvard Grieg.
Yeah, tough, right?
Very similar to Wagner. I like the ball rumblingness of it all.
Super badass. It's very metal. Man, yeah, I love this movie. I love this book, and I love this adaptation. I think it's really good. I'm going to admit to some flaws that kind of pop up later in the movie, I feel. But I don't remember what we said about this the last time. I know we reviewed this once before, because I remember talking about it.
I swear this was the first time I've seen this, so maybe
we may have talked about the book too, because we've done so many special Stephen King.
That's true.
That's true.
I don't remember seeing this either, but let's ask Connor. Connor, have we done this already?
Hook a girl up. I don't know.
Damn,
Do you
Mac
feel like
Sidal is the best in this, though.
He nails it. Well, that's one of the great things about this, and I'm so surprised. I kind of really wish this team of Fraser Heston, Charlton's son, and the writer of some other horror thing.
I'll look it up.
DW. RDW DRDDB.
What's happening?
You're just saying letters at this point.
WD-40.
I know RDDB.
RD Richter.
There you go.
WD Richter.
WD-40.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
There you go.
The 88,
There you go.
78 you mean, right?
78.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
Adventures producer and Avengers of Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. Why aren't we watching that? Sorry, good.
Anyway, I wish this team had made Salem's Lot, because that is a very similar kind of vibe. And I feel like this movie nails the vibe of the novel really perfectly. I've read that is one of the ones I really, really like. I've read Needful Things at least twice all the way through, and probably closer to 3, having probably read it in the bathroom many times where I would just pick it up and put it back down. I love that book. This movie, everybody, the cast is like, mwah. Like everybody nails exactly who they are in that movie. And I think the stuff that changed, I'm sorry.
That was a sarcastic I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I think there's a delay or something. Sorry, Kelley, keep going.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think the stuff that they changed, this was a good example of a place where the stuff that they took out or left out or made changes to was all appropriate for trying to tell this story on the big screen. And huge props to J.T. Walsh, R.I.P., as Danforth Buster Keaton.
Yeah. I love how
was
broad
that guy.
The characters were. It reminded me of an old Twilight Zone episode or something.
Yeah. So Kelley, the tone of the book, was it kind of comic-y a little bit, like the movie?
I think, yeah,
like a dark comedy.
It's very Stephen King-y. I feel like this movie really got. I think either the writer or the director, or the two of them, or someone is really a fan. Probably of the book and or certainly of Stephen King, because I felt like I feel like this really gets Stephen King. There's that scene where Gaunt and Pangborn are sitting together, sizing each other up, and just being awkward and weird, and it just felt, and they're eating their pie, making mouth sounds, you know, and it felt so Stephen King to me. And so yeah, I would say the book has definitely a rollicking kind of, it's over the top, just like any of this stuff is. And it's even crazy. I mean, in some ways it's crazier. They left out a whole subplot about Ace Merrill helping Dan Keaton like wire up explosives to the bridge. And
I felt like the book had more of those darker moments than the...
Well, the book's tone is the same exact tone as all of Stephen King's small town stories.
Yes, they didn't kill the kid like they did in the book, in the movie.
Right.
So they kind of like
they changed Sandy Koufax to Mickey Mantle,
which I thought makes sense for a movie.
Yeah, it was just funny because I kept thinking, I'm like, let's see if I remember this right. I think it's Sandy Koufax card is what this kid's Needful thing is, and then he's like Mickey Mantle, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're different. For no reason I know I could think of other than...
Is there a reason for the change?
I think because Mickey Mantle's more well known.
Okay.
As a baseball player, and people who aren't baseball people know Mickey Mantle more than they know Sandy Koufax. Because I was pointing out all the differences as they came up. I was like, in the book, I was Sandy Koufax.
Oh, you're that guy.
It's my guy. They took out the ladies with the Elvis sunglasses, or they had sex with the Elvis. And now this was a foxtail in the book. It's a jacket. I think that makes better sense too for the screen. Like I was doing a lot of that.
Her out of context specifically, because you get like the movie. If you're, this is, it's the main attraction. You've seen it. We're talking about it. You've seen the movie. We assume.
You're fine.
So you get to this point where the big climax is happening and everyone's gathered in the town square. It's very The Monsters Are on Maple Street moment. And she just steps out in that fucking leopard print in those Elvis sunglasses. It's one of the characters.
Myra. It's Myra Rusk.
Okay,
it's Brian Rusk's mom.
It's Brian's mom. That's right. And she that story's cut from the movie, so all these characters whose stories you've been following come in, you're like, okay, it makes sense why that person's there, and she just steps in out of frame, and it made me start chuckling. I immediately started thinking of Rick and Morty or something like that, where...
Yeah, well, that was the only context I had of this story before watching it, because I never read the books or anything like that. So I was expecting... And it wasn't too far off, actually, from the tone of Rick and Morty and this the movie.
My favorite part at the end where everybody's like fighting and everything, and some rando goes, "Give me back my needful thing."
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it's just I wasn't expecting this movie to be so zany. Honestly,
there was some zaniness.
Yeah, it's like there's tonally it reminded me of like The Burbs or something like that.
Yeah. Just more. I feel. I mean, it's really dark. First of all,
it went.
Really dark.
I was surprised at how dark and violent it was. Like it went back and forth between like wacky, zany, and super dark moments. I thought it handled that pretty well.
Oh, we kind of looked up the.
They skinned a dog in this movie. My God,
they did. Which is funny because it's actually less grisly in the book. Most of the things are less grisly in the movie, or just exactly as they were in the book. But that is worse in the movie. That is more intense in the movie than it was in the book. But I was going to say that
you were hoping you remember by the time you got here.
Yeah, baby.
Now you're just stalling for time.
Anyway,
stretch out all your words.
I feel good about it.
Nice.
Doesn't Von Sydow remind you of Ian McKellen in this?
Oh yeah,
I feel like they've got a very similar style.
Didn't he? He was in like a Stephen King adaptation, wasn't he?
Apt Pupil.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, Leland Gaunt, Max von Sydow.
Yep.
Which
However
one?
you want.
Either one's fine.
Oh, okay.
I think I've heard it both ways.
He's passed, but for when the first kind of like flash, Bonnie Bedelia has the flash of her like getting down.
I love saying Bonnie Bedelia, don't you?
I was like, put it between Bonnie Bedelia's boobs.
Yeah, I said the same.
Bonnie Bedelia takes a bubble bath.
She has some good movies in this movie.
Yeah, she's wearing her little nightie, and then
not that it's my place to comment
Max
on
von
such things.
Sydow is motorboating, and then like the sex like scene pops up of them two, and I'm like, whoa, and then I was like, well, okay. You know, he's not a bad looking man here.
But he comes off as very, like, I read him as gay, and then, like, so that scene doesn't feel like, but then he's also the devil, so it's like, maybe it's not even about that.
He's all of it.
I don't know.
But he's not really the
He's
devil.
always a little fey.
Yeah, what is he?
What is he?
Well, in the book, he was just like this kind of this creature, this just magical thing that would go around and take soul. It was like a little goblin guy with a cart, you know, just like a
He's like, you know, he's not the devil. He's just one of those goblin men.
He's along the lines of He's along the lines of Leprechaun, right? Just a little trickster god.
I picture the guy who
trickster goblin,
the thing that steals your treasure in Golden Axe,
like a Rumpelstiltskin.
Like yes, like that's how I say it, like a Rumpelstiltskin. That's at the end of the book. Instead of him just driving away in his car, he turns back into that. Like his cart turns into like a medieval like medicine cart, and he becomes like this gnarled little.
I remembered him like in my imagination when we were watching the movie. I felt like the ending was going to be him turning into this thing and flying away, but it was. I was thinking of that end of Hellraiser. I think, and the end of this kind of. I must have like mapped that scene onto this movie in my memory, and it totally not what happens, man.
No, he just drives off in his little car.
He just drives off in his Mercedes Benz.
And I like he's a fun little trickster guy because I like how he kept all the news clippings of all his exploits
conveniently all together.
Yeah, that's his the microfiche moment that
That to me was one of the only. That was a flaw, but not a huge flaw. But it does
fit
like,
tonally. It fit like the wacky part.
Yeah, sure.
Did you notice what bothered me about that sequence, Kelly? Because that sequence, there is some shit wrong with that. Is when he gets to the Castle Rock paper, it looks like some kid made it. And like, all the stacks of the papers, and like this is the James Coco scene from Hunk all over again, right? Where he's like, he's like, I have to be at the fall of Babylon right now, and he's like, Babylon falls, film at 11, like there's all this shit, and but that's a King staple too. The Shining had the big box of stuff, the exposition box.
Yeah, but I feel like in The Shining, it's handled better in the book, and certainly like I just feel like this was just to give everybody like to really just hammer it home, and it's like it is like what you said. It's funny because it is all these major things, and then 2 dead in Castle Rock, and it's like
you can tell he's
one of these
not
things
having a
is
great
not
day.
like the others. Yeah, it's like
it'd be like like somebody doing like a bunch of like huge major news stories, and then something that shouldn't even be mentioned in any other town. It would just be hidden away in the newspaper.
Oh, it's how it'd be like how Cincinnati tries to make a connection to any national news story.
Yeah. But the other way around, we all try to connect everything to Max von Sydow instead.
Yeah,
the Sydow connection.
All I was trying to say is, I was like, okay, I would consider it.
Right.
Yeah. So if you had a big butt, you would have been
smashing.
like Max Sydow.
Yeah.
Sydow.
Oh boy.
So Amy, you said in the book that the little kid actually dies in that one.
Yeah, he blows his head off in front of his little brother.
Wow,
yeah, and they don't even really clean it up that much for the movie. They're just like, he's paralyzed. He's gonna have a horrible existence, but at least he's not dead.
Even like the scene, the scene where he's like holding a gun to his head. I thought that was pretty intense.
Yeah,
considering they kept a lot of
somewhat of a light story.
Yeah,
they kept a lot of the intense stuff, and I think what it did well was capture that what a large part of one of the themes in the book was that all these people, they were manipulated, but there's a part of them that each of one of them that enjoyed the mischief they were getting up to. Even Nettie had fun.
Oh, poor little Nettie
in the book, putting up those tickets. Like, it gave her a thrill. Like, and so there's like this whole thing about the whole conversation with Alan Pangborn about people having choice. That was actually a pretty good little, for such a broad, a movie that ended up going broad towards the end.
But it is kind of a broad by its like the nature of that whole. I love that in all those King books where in the movies too, where he has like your flag character and your gunslinger character, and they're always there. It's always good versus evil, and they recognize each other when they meet. It's like in his stuff, it almost always there's a meeting between the two early on where they recognize each other as antagonists. And that's like, I love that moment in this movie. It makes it feel like it feels mythological.
It's really cool
because there's nobody feels real to begin with, because it gets right to the chase, and these characters are all very archetypical villagers, I love that shit. And the fact that he's an outsider, Pangborn, that is always part of it, because they have to come in from outside to save everybody. That's like always key in these stories, I think.
Right. Well, because the villain is also an outsider.
Right. And it's so classic, vying for
Castle Rock is really the third main character.
Yeah.
Castle Rock is the soul. They're battling for the soul of Castle Rock.
This reminds. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that. Do any of these king towns have any soul?
Soul?
Yeah.
I think
they got the soul for getting down.
Yeah.
So is this town close to like Derry and all his other towns? Is it like
ish? Yeah,
along
it's part
the
of
same
that
area?
Yeah. Castle Rock's the big one. Like, Castle Rock is the one that features, I think, most prominently in the most stuff he's written. This was going to be his attempt to get away from it. He was trying to just literally destroy it.
Yeah, but did they end up not?
But then he ends up coming right back
end?
to it. No, he does, but then
remember.
He ends up coming back to it almost immediately.
Yeah.
in 4 Past Midnight, and is talking about like the events of Needful Things are discussed a little bit.
Was Dark Half before or after this?
Before this. And so they don't touch on that, because that's part of the book, is Alan Pangborn struggling with having kind of tried to understand what he had seen in the Dark Half. And then, knowing that there was weird shit in the world, but like not exactly, is like he wasn't trying to make the connection that,
I can't remember. Did Dark Half take place in one of these king towns, or was that like?
It took place partially in Castle Rock. That's where you got Alan. Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
It starts off in Castle, like they have the photo shoot in Homeland Cemetery, and they have a fake grave where they bury George Stark, the pseudonym, and that's where the George Stark, the being, comes up out of the ground and kills the groundskeeper.
Such a fun book.
I think that was my first one.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you even think about it for a minute, like this, as I've said so many times, the balls on Stephen King.
Yeah, he basically wrote a Dean Koontz book, and somehow it was really good.
It was really compelling.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize till afterwards. You're like,
sounds Koontsy, right? When you hear that setup,
super Koontsy.
Yeah,
you're like, that sounds more like a Koontz to me.
And again, just like what I said with sometimes they come back. There are these like goofy details, but you just buy it.
Yeah,
because he's so good. Stephen King is such a good writer that he takes what is a goofy idea and makes it. I feel like he does it on purpose. He's like, let me show you how goofy I'm going to make this, and I'm going to take you with me anyway. I'm still going to scare you, even though I'm going to give you the most corniest, like old-timey Archie's comic booky, goofy twist you could possibly think of. Their high school is a graveyard, and they have folders, and you buy it.
And they have folders.
You buy it.
That's crazy. Folders? Come on.
So the dark half, yeah, that's before that leads into Needful Things. It's a bit of a prequel.
A prequel, you say?
A prequel.
Yeah, this movie, it was easy to watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't demand much of you, which I liked. This is my fault, not the movie's fault, but I definitely was snoozing a little bit in the middle and the end.
Well, it was like near the beginning of the third act, it kind of dropped off a little bit too. I thought, like after like the
so maybe it was the movie and not just me.
Yeah. I mean, it was 2 hours. That's kind of.
I know.
But
I know they have
to. Man.
No, I feel like they fit a lot of story in it, a lot of characters, and it demands like a long running time. But there are times where it was a little draggy.
Kind of like the audio that came out of you a minute ago.
Was it?
Yeah, it's doing it again. You're like, yeah. You sound.
I need a new microphone. Apparently,
Robot Andy was trying to take over.
It's Zoom. It's Zoom.
Where's Gaunt? We need him.
Not your fault.
What would be your needful thing, unless that's Kelly's question for us?
Is that your Topicana? Have you thought of a Topicana yet? Oh, I guess that's going to be Kelly's Topicana. Looking at his eyebrows.
He just got a little sassy look.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't thought of one, and that is not mine.
Yeah. Okay. And I also had fun just picking out all the actors that were in this movie.
Yeah.
It was it was a stacked deck.
Yeah, I always love seeing Amanda Plummer.
She is perfect. She was, really was made for, like, that character just felt like her, like I could see her in my imagination.
Do you guys want to, we should revisit Santa's Little Helper, Amanda Plummer.
You mean Satan's Little Helper?
I meant Satan. Did I say Santa?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Satan's Helper. Satan's Little Helper, which everybody except me hated.
Yeah.
But I feel like you like it. I do feel like you guys dig it now. Amanda Palmer's so good.
It's going to sound awful.
Amanda Palmer is so good in that movie.
Did I say Amanda Palmer? Fuck. She's dead and wrapped in plastic. Amanda Palmer is good in this movie.
No. That's Laura Palmer. That's Laura Palmer.
Amanda Palmer says
plays songs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Married to Neil Gaiman.
No longer.
Formerly of Crosby, Stills, Gaiman, and Young.
The law firm. And I was going to say, like, this is going to sound mean, but when Amanda Plummer first showed up on screen, I thought she was Zelda from Pet Sematary.
Oh, yeah. Well, she has a very, like a bony kind of...
Just the way she looked in this movie, she looked very, like, just... sickly? That's not the word, but
well, the character was sickly. She was kind of like that lady from in the book, right? Like the one from Pet Sematary that killed herself. It felt like the same character to me.
Yeah.
I know it's not the same character, but that archetype felt like he just duplicated it from.
Wait, what lady from Pet Sematary?
Remember the lady who killed
the housekeeper
herself, the housekeeper? She had
like stomach problems. And she hung herself in the basement.
She was a widow.
In Pet Sematary?
Yeah.
That shit did not happen in Pet Sematary.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
I remember it. It was like
She killed herself. It was It was one of the stories that Judd, I think, told to them when they moved in.
Oh, okay.
It was from the before. No, it wasn't.
No,
because she helped the family. She was helping out with Gage in the beginning. That's right.
Never mind.
It's all right, Kelley. You don't have to remember it right now.
We're having a little bit of a Berenstain.
Yeah, Kelley read an alternate version in a parallel universe.
I don't remember it either, but that
is definitely
anything.
not in the book. 1,000,000%.
Oh, do you want to place a tiny bet on that?
I would.
I don't.
$5 motherfucking dollars.
I feel like Freddie would rather have 5
another question I have to ask was Amanda Plummer and the turkey lady, was that scene pretty faithful to like the book where they kill each other in a fight?
Yeah, except it happens in the middle of town. It happens on the street corner in the middle of town in the book. But otherwise, it was really they nailed all of that.
Yeah, I like that fight. I want to think that Quentin Tarantino saw this movie, was inspired by it to do the Uma Thurman, Vivica A. Fox fight. That's what reminded me.
You think he was he's sitting in the theater like Nicole Kidman staring up at Needful things? Like, holy shit. Did you see that? Robert Rodriguez, did you see that? Holy shit.
It just reminded me of the kitchen fight. So
yeah,
that's just my little warped universe.
I think he stole those things from other sources, not Needful things.
So yeah, Needful things. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
that was a good pick.
It was a delightful little visit.
Yeah, and it's free on YouTube because that's where I watched it.
I was very excited. I rented it as well.
I rented it.
It's free on YouTube. That's my first go-to thing because I don't like to pay.
Yeah, because Andy likes to,
I like when people try to get around the censor or whatever, and they just frame the shit up weird. So like it would have just been like Max von Sydow down the corner of your screen or something.
All right.
Anyway, that was good stuff.
So it is the end of that theme.
It's the end of that theme.
Let me put it to you this way.
Yeah.
If that suicide thing is in Pet Sematary, it's something that was added to the 87 version that I don't remember. I guarantee it's not in the book.
Oh, it's not in the book. Okay, that could be. That could be, Kelley. That could be.
But I might not remember it from the 87 movie.
But it was in the movie, certainly.
I will concede that.
She's like, my stomach again. I guess I'm gonna hang myself. Remember that? Does that ring any bells?
No.
She said it like super New Englandy, and she looked.
Well,
sick.
I'm planning on watching that again soon. So
I've not seen the remake.
It's not bad.
It's not good.
Okay.
It's neither of those things. It's not bad.
It's fine.
But it is not good. I will agree with you. That's not. It's a very mediocre movie, but
I'll agree to that.
It has a couple of moments that are pretty darn good.
There's a couple of good moments, but that's what's so unfortunate about it.
Yeah, it had way too much potential to only have a couple of good moments.
I think the lead is attractive.
Oh yeah,
sure he is.
Who is the lead?
Chicago.
He's
Fire.
that guy.
Was that Jason Clark?
Duncan.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that guy. That's in things.
Yeah, give me your hands, boss.
He's got nice eyes.
He's cute.
All right, cool, fantastic, wonderful. Patreon.com/NOTLP to get all our extra stuff.
Yeah.
Like Kelley's going to have a Topicana question for us to answer.
I am going to have a Topicana question
That'll be out in
for
a
us
couple
all to answer.
Woohoo!
Got a new Freddy versus Jason coming up. We're talking about Jason Lives and the Dream Master.
Oh.
So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Master of Dreams.
Yes.
So, at the end of every show, we say hi to the Beelzebubs.
Hi, Beelzebubs.
We're going to do that now. I'm just going to read these names.
Go for it, Amy.
See what happens.
Do it.
Alise.
I'm very excited to join you.
Lynn Walsh.
I would be excited to join you if we were joining.
Inappropriate.
Alyssa. Branan and Emily.
Same for all of you. I would love to join you for a dinner or a drink.
For a fist bump and a hug. Jeffel.
Or that. Yeah.
Dustin. Dustin, listen to Origins. I think we discussed a fart you farted to us via voicemail years ago.
I fart the farts that make the whole world fart.
Iona Goodwin.
What?
Iona Goodwin. Dr. Brian. Bill, a.k.a. Jerk Bitch Boat. I don't want to call you that anymore. We need to come up with something better. It's less mean.
For Bill?
Yeah. Bill
Amy's over
Farner.
it.
We can call you not Bill Farner because you're not. You're a different Bill. Bill Farner is his own self. Blake.
All these bills.
Blayne.
Helping us pay our bills.
Jordache Jeans. Blayne Yogurt. I'm sorry. I should have given you your nickname. Joe, back to you. Jordache Jeans. Paul.
The Bills for Bills Foundation is proud to present
Jeremy and Cassie and Gamora.
a production brought to you by
Ernie.
In association with
Our picker this time, Dave Siebert.
And introducing
Thanks, Dave. Good pick.
Yeah.
Michael Burns.
As
Monica. Done!
You did it.
Fucking love that shit and you know it.
I did it. Guilty as charged.
Doesn't it feel weird that we're done with the theme month and it's only halfway through the month?
I know.
No, so you want to do another one? Throw Money in there?
We got Thanksgiving.
We're going to skip for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
So it'll work out, guys.
Yeah, it works out, but it's just weird.
Debris show coming up.
Time, man. Time.
Fucking weird, bro.
Slipping.
Man, it was 70 degrees and then it snowed, man. Shit.
Shit was crazy, dude.
All right, I love you guys.
All right, bye.
Love you. Bye,
night.
everybody.
Love you.
Woo, love you.
Frankenstein was wondering if he